Hey guys, is anybody there? Hey guys, how are y'all? I got Sophie with me right now. She decided to crawl up in my lap right as I was trying to get ready for this broadcast, and she weighs like 65 pounds, and she hasn't quite understood that she is not a lap dog. So yeah, she's just gonna hear what I'm trying to live stream to you guys. Well, feel free, you guys, if you have access to the live chat, to go ahead and type some stuff, and if you have questions, you can. I'll be really happy to answer them for you. But yeah, let's get started. There's more people on here than I thought there would be. So um, I don't know. Do you guys follow me on Twitter? If you do, you'll saw that I posted a picture last night of me like in this really like cute pink shirt, where I was getting ready to go out. Yeah, for a night out. It was going to be fun. And so, anyways, I actually I went out last night. I went to a bar with one of my really good friends, and then we went to watch a movie afterwards. We went to go see Wonder Woman, and I'm not full time yet, but it's something that is very rapidly approaching, and it's I still get really nervous when I go out, dressed as myself, because I never know quite what people are going to think or how they're going to react. It's a little bit easier when I'm doing it with friends or when I'm with a group of people, but when I'm out by myself, it's very nerve-wracking. I'm always kind of like finding myself, looking over my shoulder, or trying to figure out who's staring or who's doing what. But so anyway, I was actually really nervous for last night, and but I went anyways, and I ended up having a great time. A few of the things that I was the most scared about, though, is obviously since we went to a bar and they usually ID you at bars. I was actually really nervous about having to show my ID, because obviously it does not look anything like I do right now, and I figured either if I had to show an ID, whoops, Sophie decided to get down. Get down, baby. If I had to show an ID, I figured one of a couple things was going to happen, is that either I was going to end up having to out myself, if it wasn't obvious, or if somebody hadn't already picked up on that, or they would see that my ID didn't look like me, and then they would just kind of like deny me service. And neither one of those were outcomes that I was really looking forward to. But luckily, we went to this bar and we sat down, and the manager comes up and he says, "Hey, ladies, how are y'all?" Which felt really great, by the way. On my face for the rest of the night. They never asked for my ID, which was, like it was a relief. So they didn't ask for an ID, which made me happy. So we ordered our drinks. We had a really great time, and then we went to go see Wonder Woman afterwards. And of course, we stopped off at the bar once again once we got to the theater, and had those same feelings or fears, as that somebody would ask me for my ID. But I got really lucky last night. Either that, or I look a lot older than I think I do. I'm only 28, so I'm kind of still in that range where you should get carded a lot. But Sophie wants me to play fetch with her. But so I just assumed that I was going to get carded, but I didn't. And that was, like I said, it was a big relief, just because that was something I was, really afraid about, because I didn't want to have to out myself or go through the embarrassment of being denied a service. But it went really well. Also, another interesting first last night, you guys, is that I used the women's restroom for the very first time out in public. And it sounds really silly, but it was a big milestone and a big moment for me. When we were at the bar, if we'd had a few drinks, I really had to go to the bathroom really bad, but I was like trying my best to hold it, trying to figure out a plan for what I was going to do. Just because, I live in Texas, and Texas all of a sudden is trying to pass these bathroom laws, and it starts, excuse me, and it starts to get really confusing. on the places where you can and can't go to the to the bathroom without getting harassed for for whatever reason. So it's always been something that I'm really nervous about, and but I mean it worked out fine. We went in. It was like just like a 2-stall restroom, and me and my friend were both in there. We happened to be the only people that were in there, but I was still afraid. And when I actually came time for me to go, I actually kind of acted like maybe like a 5-year-old girl or something, where I told her, I was like, I really have to go to the bathroom, but I'm really scared to go. And I was like, will you go with me? And so I made her go with me, and it all worked out just fine. It was nice. It was nice being able to be myself out in the open, and it was nice to not be harassed. I only got called a guy one time, which was awkward, but it happened so fast. I kind of just, ignored it and moved on with my life. Are you guys able to see and hear me okay? And does the chat work? I mean, have you guys played with this a little bit? Feel free to leave me some messages here in the chat if you have questions, and I'll be happy to answer those. But I kind of want this to be a little bit of a kind of an open forum type deal, where we all can kind of meet up and talk and have a good time and that sort of thing. If you guys like these live chats, I'm probably thinking about doing maybe one, maybe not every week right now. Maybe once the channel gets a little bit bigger, we'll do one every week, but probably one like every other week or something like that right now, because there's just a lot more people on this thing than I thought there was going to be. There's 14 of you. Last night when I got ready for bed, I was thinking about the live chat today, and I kept thinking to myself, if I have like 4 people show up, I was like, that's going to be a huge success. And so I'm actually pretty surprised about the number of people that that have shown up. Sorry, my phone's going off here. But I just think it would be a good, a good way for us to interact better with each other. I want my channel to be kind of a very interactive, to where you guys always have access to me if you have questions or if you need anything. And I ask you guys for advice and stuff a lot of times in my videos, and I cannot tell you how helpful some of the things that y'all have said in those videos has been to me. Just because I make YouTube videos and I'm talking about my transition, I'm kind of afraid that when I do that, I'm making it look too easy, or like my life is too perfect, when really it's not, and I still struggle with a lot of things. And so those nice little comments and stuff that you guys leave for me, it really does make my day. And you guys have no idea kind of what that means to me. Let me see. Oh, hang on guys, just a second. My dog needs outside. Be right back. 2 seconds. Okay, sorry about that. But yes, I mean, I know the whole purpose of me making this channel was because back in October I started hormones, and it was something that I needed a lot of advice for and a lot of encouragement. I had held this inside for around 20 years or so, and when it finally came time, when I realized that I actually did need to do something about this and I couldn't hide it any longer, then I used YouTube a lot. I used it to find people who are going through something similar. It was my go-to place. And oh, hang on just a second. This is kind of messing up on me here. But yeah, so I mean, I used it as my go-to place, to where I could find advice and I could find help. And I realized how valuable that actually was. So I used it as my go-to place, to where I could find advice and I could find help. Hang on, I realized how valuable really that screwing up here. Was. So I used it as my go-to place, to where I could find advice and I could find help. And I realized how valuable that was. Okay, sorry. So I was trying to actually get it set up. For whatever reason, I couldn't see the live chat on my live streaming feed, so I had to go to the YouTube page here. And when I did, some of the audio kind of bled through. Wow, all you guys that are on here, I'm actually seeing who's on here for the first time. I really appreciate all your support. A lot of you guys follow me on Twitter, and a lot of you, some of you guys have been here since the very beginning. You know, there's the first few the first few videos that I made. Um, so, oh god, that's so crazy. I cannot believe that that you guys are on here. I'll go ahead and answer one question on here. It's kind of personal, but Sean Wu asked me what size my breasts are. Yeah, they're 34A if you're curious. Um, I don't know why you would want to know that, but you know, there you go. They're 34A. I can make them bigger too when I use you know, push-up bras and stuff from Victoria's Secret. They are without a doubt my best friend. Let's see here. I'm really trying to struggle here with the interfacing. Um, okay, I think I finally have it figured out, so I can see the chat and I can see myself in real time, because I think there's actually a delay on this. I think you guys are seeing me about 8 or 10 seconds past what I'm actually saying. So it was really weird looking at myself from the YouTube screen, because it was like looking back in time at the past. But yeah, so anyway, I wanted this channel to be about you know, helping people, because I know that there are a lot of trans people out there who are going through the exact same thing that I did and that I am now, and maybe they just haven't come out, or they haven't worked up the courage. So my ultimate goal was to be able to show people you know, that it's okay to be trans and it's okay to be different, and even by doing so, you can still um, you can still lead a successful and a fulfilling life. Because I know there's, you know, a lot of places and a lot of troubles and heartaches that go along with being trans. You know, you might find trouble in the workplace or being discriminated against there, and you might have a lot of trouble finding a job even. And so I'm trying my best to show people that you can be trans and successful. I'm basically just trying to remove that stigma that kind of follows trans people, because at the end of the day, I'm just a person. I'm a person who was born maybe a little screwed up, but at the end of the day, I am a person. And I think once more people understand that, it's going to be more accepting, and it's going to be, you know, there won't be such a stigma around it, or that it's so taboo. It's the same thing you saw with gay marriage. You know, it took a long time for that to happen and finally to become like normalized. And but once it did, you know, now nobody even questions it. It's like not even a thing anymore. So I really hope that transgender issues and the way trans people are treated kind of goes that way in general. And I think it will. I just hope it doesn't take as long as it did for like gay rights. And sorry, this is really bothering me. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm really self-conscious. But I have a mustache that I've been fighting all week. Normally I can hide it really, really well, but when I do laser hair removal, it makes the hairs. Has anyone ever done laser hair removal who's on the chat? If you have, you'll know that it makes the hair on your face like really wiry, and it's very difficult to shave after they've been hit by a laser. And it normally takes me about, I don't know, 9 or 10 days before the hair on my face or wherever I got laser to kind of like start ejecting from my face. And so in the meantime, whenever I try to actually shave, the razor doesn't cut it very well. So I still have like a 5 o'clock shadow. I don't know. I notice it maybe a lot worse than you guys do, but it's just because I'm so self-conscious about it. But so it's just one of those things that's just going to take a few more days to kind of work out. But you know, I'm almost got rid of my facial hair to begin with. I didn't have a lot, so I'm getting to that point where it's really, really close. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you can't see my mustache. That makes me feel a little bit better. I guess maybe it's just in my mind or something. And wow, Morgan Smith, you've had 13 laser hair appointments. That is quite a feat. Where were they at? Were they all in your face, or were they on other areas of your body? I have had 5 on my face. Oh my gosh. I've also had 1 electrolysis session on my face, which I will probably not do again for a long time because it was torture. And then I've also had laser hair just this last Monday when I went for my my facial session. I actually did my belly. I'd never had a lot of hair on my belly, really, kind of just maybe like, I don't know, softball size, like right around my belly button. So anyway, I had laser hair done on that, and really I was kind of surprised because it didn't hurt near as bad as I thought it would. Oh, I'm sorry, Morgan. That is unfortunate. I was lucky and didn't have a lot of facial hair to begin with. But if you were anything like me, when they go across your upper lip, it is torture. It is the worst pain I think I have ever felt when they go across your upper lip with that laser. Seconded only by about a week and a half ago. Okay, so there's a little bit of a story behind this. So the company I work for is, my regular 8 to 5 job is a medical company, and our corporate office is here in Lubbock, where I live. And then, we also have a clinic or so here as well. But most of the operations are other places in San Antonio and other parts of the state. And one of the businesses that the people I work for own is like a med spa. And I was talking to the nurse who runs it, and what I found out is, she knows about my transition, and she kind of offered to help me out with some of the laser hair removal because she knew how expensive it was. Let's see, I did my upper lip. Hey, yeah, I'm really glad you don't have to shave every day anymore, Morgan. I don't have to either. I can get away with shaving, maybe um, once a month or so. Butterman Goat, how's it doing? Um, oh, yeah, sorry, I just got distracted by the chat. That makes me really happy that you're on. But so anyway, she offered to help me out with some of the laser hair removal, and like the next day I thought about it a little bit. And the next day I went up to her, and I decided to take her up on her offer because laser hair is very expensive. And even if you use, like, by the way, the best way to do it is to get a Groupon. Don't ever pay full price for laser hair because it is super expensive. But so anyways, I took her up on her offer, and I asked her if she would do the hair around my nipples, because for whatever reason, I was blessed to have hair in that part of my body. And she agreed, and we did it. And oh my gosh, it is probably tied or right underneath your upper lip. It hurts so bad. It's just a sensitive area of your body. And then she kind of explained to me that anytime that you have a difference in skin tones like you do around that area, that it hurts a little bit worse because the laser has trouble targeting like hair, and it ends up targeting, the darker part of your skin. So yeah, I've done that as well. But currently, yeah, I'm trying to get. I didn't have a lot of hair on my chest either. I just was never a very hairy person, which was fortunate. So I've been working on my chest over the past week or so, and it probably still has another like 5 or 6 months to go before it starts to become acceptable. But my face, I have made a lot of progress on. It's just it's the main part too, because the other areas I can shave, but especially since I'm going full time, like in less than 2 weeks, which we're gonna get to in a second. I'm super excited. But my face is the part that I'm most self-conscious about because it's what people can see. It's going to be what's visible, and it's going to be what is going to give me away. Obviously, when I open my mouth and say things, I think my voice is going to give me away, but it's just going to be one of those things. I am going to start voice training lessons here pretty soon. I downloaded some apps on my phone to kind of help me get started, but I haven't had a lot of success, but I haven't been doing it very long. But voice training is something that I want to do because right now this is my best high-pitched voice that I can muster up for you guys. And that's kind of why I have to keep clearing my throat, is because it's very difficult for me even to talk like at this pitch. And I'm sure you guys are sitting there thinking, well, you still sound like a man. And I do. I fully admit that I do. Usually, if you watch my videos, usually towards the beginning of the videos, I'll have a higher pitched voice, but then like halfway through, my voice either kind of trails off, or I don't even realize that I slip back in to a slightly deeper like tone voice. So if you pay attention to my videos, you might notice that my voice kind of goes, from up to down a little bit in my videos. But it's just something that has inspired me and helped me a lot, especially with my voice, since that's the part of me I'm most self-conscious about, is my voice. But what's helped me out the most is, paying attention to a lot of other trans women who I find very inspirational and I really look up to, like specifically Laverne Cox, because her voice is really deep, but she is beautiful. Her voice is beautiful, and you know, aside from the way she looks, she's just a beautiful human being. Butterman Goat, thanks. I appreciate it. True story for you guys. Butterman Goat actually knows me as a guy. That's how I first met him. Is I was a guy, and that's kind of all he's known me. So he's kind of been there for you know, me pre-transition, and then as I'm actually going through this transition. So yeah, just fun fact for you guys. Shout out to you. But you know, so I've been paying a lot of attention to a lot of other trans women who have really deep voices, and it really does inspire me. Just because, like I said, it lets me know that I can still live, you know, a fulfilling and fine, perfectly normal life. You know, whatever normal is, anyways. Who wants to be normal? But I can still live that way. You know, despite the fact that I do have some things that I'm not happy about. Because just about everything else that's wrong with me, I can fix, and I do plan on fixing. My intent is to fully transition. I'm not somebody who you know, is happy with certain parts of my body and doesn't mind. Oh, Crimson Sky, thank you. I really appreciate that. But so I do fully intend on, you know, transitioning fully. So ideally, you know, money is a huge factor when it comes to anyone transitioning, because insurance really doesn't help you pay for anything. And usually most of the cost is on your own setback. And that's one reason that it takes so long. But next year in 2018, can't talk. I'm hoping maybe around the midpoint of next year, so probably like exactly a year from now, I'm actually going to do top surgery and get breast implants. And the reason I'm choosing to go with that first is because, number one, it's the cheapest. And number two, it's the part of my body that I suffer the most dysphoria about. That's the part of my body that I've always felt wasn't right more than anything. So that's why I kind of want to go for that first. Also, and I could have this totally wrong. For anyone out there who's actually had these surgeries, please say something and correct me if I'm wrong. But just by looking at the surgeries that I want to have, it looks to be the most painful and possibly the quickest recovery. So there's just several reasons I've chosen to do that one first. Then I would like to do facial feminization surgery to kind of feminize some of my facial features, like my jawline. I feel is very masculine. So I'd kind of like to have that rounded down. I would also like to have my Adam's apple taken, shaved down, get like a trach shave. Natalie, what kind of implants am I looking at? The gummy bear ones. You know, I'm not sure. So there's advantages and disadvantages of both types that I've heard of. The gummy bear ones help you look more natural. But for myself, I may end up going with more of a round implant, just because I know it's really hard to tell. But see if you guys can see. So this bra obviously helps me out a lot. But I feel like overall, without a shirt or a bra on, is that my breasts are kind of like a little bit too far apart, just because I think my frame is wider than most women. And maybe it's just the way hormones have that effect on me, because I know that even taking hormones and transitioning, that you still don't get perfect breast growth like you would if you were just born female. But I feel like my breasts are a little bit farther apart than they should be. So I'm kind of, you know, leaning maybe towards like a rounder implant so that I can get like more to fill in on the middle, so that I can actually have like decent cleavage one day, rather than, you know, like having like pointing east and west. I don't know if anybody is into to east and west boobies, but I'm really not. But I don't know. It's really just going to depend on the surgeon. I've already selected the surgeon. I've done a few like email exchanges with his office, so it's something that I'm working towards. My surgeon, in case you're interested, is going to be Dr. Scott Moser in San Francisco. Sorry, super thirsty. So it's going to be Scott Moser in San Francisco. So when that time comes, I'll probably end up spending, you know, a week or two, you know, there across the country so I can have that surgery. But anyway, so like I was saying, sorry, Apple Basket wants to know what are the two kinds of implants. They have what's called round implants, which are like the traditional style, which is what you would see in a lot of maybe like like if you look at like Playboy magazines and things like that, usually the type of style from like those in like in the 90s or early 2000s are going to be round implants. And basically it makes the top part of your breast fuller, as well as like the middle part, because they're just like they say they are round. So they're going to give your breast a very round shape. The other type is like what they call a gummy bear implant. And the reason they do, or like teardrop shaped, they're like basically the same thing. But instead of the implant being round, they're shaped more like a tear, and to where most of the weight of the implant is on the bottom, so that when you get them inserted into you, most of that weight of the implant falls, to the bottom, and it can create a more natural look. So it really just depends what look you're going for and what you already have to work with on your body. But so anyway, I hope that kind of answers your question. But so anyway, yeah, I want to get facial feminization. I'd like to get a trach shave. I would kind of like to, make the bridge of my nose maybe not so fat, and things like that, just to kind of help feminize a few of the features that I'm really dysphoric about, and things that would help me pass easier. All thanks male to female and hormones. I really appreciate that. But I'd like to be able to pass easier because honestly, oh my gosh, this hair. Honestly, I feel like I look better on camera and in pictures than I do in person. And once again, that's probably just me being retarded. But like I still feel like that I'm easy to clock as somebody who is trans or who is born male. And maybe the longer I'm on hormones, the easier that's going to be to hide and fix. But I do plan on having facial feminization surgery. Oh, thank you. A lot of people say my eyes are my best feature, and even when I was presenting as male, they would always talk about my eyes. I have green eyes, which I actually found out is like supposedly the rarest eye color that you could have are green eyes. Most people with green eyes are like a brownish green, but mine are like absolutely like bright green. There's like no brown in my eyes, so thanks. So yeah, I'm always afraid that my goal is to be passable. If you watch that video that I did about am I going to be passable? And I don't know if I will be, but it's what I would like to do, if the money is willing and if everything works out the way that I'm hoping it does, then, I would like to have that, because I think facial feminization surgery is something that really sets trans people apart, especially trans women, in making them passable. Unless you started like really, really early, maybe like when you were 13 or 14. Oh my gosh, my phone is going crazy. Unless you started really, really young, then you've given testosterone all those years to kind of basically like ravage my body and masculinize it. I'm 28 years old, and my biggest regret in life is not starting sooner. I knew who I was and who I was supposed to be when I was like 10. And, I think about that a lot. Like, why didn't I say something? Why didn't I do that? I could have prevented so many of the problems that I'm going to suffer with now and that really aren't fixable. For one, my voice, I could have stopped my voice from changing. Or, like it's embarrassing. Obviously you guys all know, if you've seen any of my videos, that this is fake hair. This is not mine. I wish it was, but it's just not. I am trying to grow out my hair and kind of exploring some options with that, but it's not very long. It's probably like, I don't know, like an inch or inch and a half long right now. But, I have a little bit of hair thinning, and that's something that I could have prevented as well. Had I, said something sooner, I could have stopped those things. So, me being scared and being a coward basically about being who I really was is going to end up costing me in the long run, I think. So, if something to think about, that if this is something that you're struggling with, do something about it now, because you don't want to wait. Time passes by so quickly, and you don't want to wake up one day and realize that 30 years have passed and you never took the chance to be who you really are. And that's, I'll tell you guys a really personal story here, and I might start crying, so if I do, forgive me. But a lot of people have asked me, if I knew for so long that I was trans, why didn't I say anything? And, I've explained that, but then they want to know what prompted me all of a sudden to actually say something and step up. And the reason is because last August, Um, Last August, my stepdad passed away, and it was very unexpected. He was in his early 50s. He was in perfect health. There was nothing wrong with him, but he went to bed one evening and he never woke up the next morning. He had a massive heart attack in his sleep, and he passed away, one night without warning. And after that happened, that was kind of an eye opener for me, because I realized that, that could be me one day. And, I don't know what comes, if there's a life after death, or, anything like that. I don't pretend to know those. And I kind of want to avoid sharing my personal beliefs in that matter with you guys, if it's all possible. But, I always thought to myself, after that happened, that if something like that happened to me and then I had the opportunity at the end to reflect back on my life and wonder if I, and look at the way I lived and wonder if I should have done anything different, I didn't want to look back on my life and realize that I never took the chance to be who I really was, and I didn't live a full or fulfilling life because I spent all of my time trying to hide it. So that was kind of my eye-opening, situation, and that's what prompted me to actually, take action. And he passed away in August, and I started hormones in October. Like, I wasn't going to wait anymore after that happened, because I didn't want to live a life of regret. So that's kind of what prompted me to start doing this when I did. Like I said, I'm 28, so I've started a lot later in life than I wish I should have. A lot of people start in their late teens or early 20s, and I wish I could have done something like that, but at least I am doing it, and I am taking that chance. For better or for worse, whether this turns out great or it's a colossal, failure and I have a life of misery being me, who knows? But either way, at least I can say that I took my life into my own hands. I made my own decisions, and I tried to live a fulfilling and satisfying life. Crimson Sky. Wow. So you waited till you were 63. What prompted you to actually start doing it at 63? Was there some kind of like life-changing event, or did you just finally reach a breaking point to where you were like, you couldn't do it anymore? That's something that always fascinated me, with like just trying to figure out what it was for people who transition later in life, what flips that switch that makes them actually want to, go ahead and pursue a transition versus not. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to have facial feminization surgery, and then I do plan on having GRS, gender reassignment surgery. But that's probably going to be the last surgery that I have. And it's not because it's the one that I want the least. I'm just trying to look at it practically and figure out which ones are going to impact my quality of life the most and do them in that order. So I will have that, but it's probably going to be 2-3 years from now. My ultimate plan would be to have one surgery a year starting next year. So I'll have my breasts done in 2018, facial feminization in 2019, and then gender reassignment in 2020. And it sounds like a really long ways off, and it is, and that depresses me. But like I said, it's mostly just a money issue. It's so expensive. Like for the surgeon that I've chosen for my breast, it's going to be around 10,000. And then the other two surgeries for GRS and facial feminization, they usually run anywhere from 20 to 30,000 each. And so insurance it's just not a help factor. And as soon as, once that comes along and I'm able to get that going, then, I will have those surgeries. And, I'm not going anywhere on YouTube. So I'm in this for the long haul for you guys, because I really enjoy making these videos as a hobby. But most of all, I like being able to help people. So, if you guys stick around with me long enough, you'll get to go on all those adventures with me when I do my surgeries, and you'll get to see all that crazy cool stuff, and how crappy I look when I come out of the operating room with my face all swollen up. You'll get to see all that. Just wait long enough and you'll get to. Let's see, Apple Basket. Did I do any sperm storing? I did not. Having children was never something that I had ever really wanted. I'm single. I'm not married. I've never been married. I've never had kids. But having children was never something that really appealed to me. It was never a path in life that I chose, that I wanted to go on. I always wanted to be married, and I still do. And it's not that I'm opposed to kids. It's just I have some really personal reasons for why I don't want children of my own. Um, I'm perfectly fine if the person I marry has kids. That's perfectly fine with me because, I do like kids. Um, so yeah, I'm not opposed to that. But no, I did not store any sperm, just because that was not a path for my life that I've ever wanted really, for myself, is to have children of my own. I always figured that if I had children, I would just adopt children. I think there's a lot of kids out there who can use loving homes, that I could be helpful to without actually having any kids of my own. So that's kind of the reason I chose not to store sperm. That and the fact that it was freaking expensive. So no. And by now I'm almost 8 months on hormones. So by now I'm pretty sure that I am sterile. I don't know for sure. Who knows? No one will really know. But yeah. So there's kind of your answer to that. Um, let's see here. What else do you guys have to say? Butterman Goat. So you want to know if I'll be doing vlogs? Guess your mother said something, huh? But anyway, so that's kind of a direction I want to talk to you guys about, is that I want to take the channel in a little bit of a different direction, but I'm not exactly sure yet how you guys are going to react or if you want that. So there's two ways that I can do videos. One is I can sit in front of the camera like all my other videos are, and I can talk to you guys about some random topic that pops into my head that day. Or I can let the dog in. 2 seconds, sorry. I swear I spend half my day letting my dog in and out. Or if I don't, just sit in front of the camera and make videos, I could do vlog style videos to where I can carry a camera around with me every day, all day, and I can, piece together videos that are like clips and snippets of my life, and kind of talk about, important things that I would normally make videos about, kind of just, in between like scenes of my everyday. The latter actually really appeals to me, just because I think it would be more interactive and maybe beneficial, so you guys can see what my life is really like. Because it's easy for me to hide a lot of things that I don't want you to see, because I'm just, sitting here in my house in front of a camera. But if you guys like see it firsthand as things happen to me in real life, I don't know. I've always found those videos more interesting. So it's kind of a style that I'm thinking about leaning towards and going into. I just don't really know if that's something that y'all want to see. So if you do, let me know. All right, so let's see here. What do you guys have to say? But yeah. So I mean, I'm always looking for ways to make my channel better. I really want to grow it to reach as many people as possible. Just because it's something I'm very passionate about. Like I said, is helping people, because I don't think that a lot of people, unless you are trans yourself or you've been through that struggle, I don't think you can ever fully understand what it is that someone who is trans goes through. And so I think having people that you can look to for advice or inspiration, or even somebody just to make you laugh if you're having a bad day, is what people need. And that's really what I'm trying to get across with the channel and what I want to do. So I'm just trying to reach as many people as possible. If you guys haven't already noticed, I tend to be very big on people. I think people are the most important gift and asset that you can ever have in your life. There's nothing more valuable than a person who cares. Material things, they're fun and they're great, but nothing beats actually having, those close friends, or, your family, or people like that, because people and love in life is what makes a life truly fulfilling, in my opinion, and the experiences that you have and that you share with them, rather than, just a bunch of material things. I've never been very materialistic. Charlie Christie, yes, I am going to have SRS. It's just going to be a few years down the road. I kind of mentioned that a few moments ago in case you're just joining. It's probably going to be in like 2 or 3 years just because the cost is so expensive. I appreciate that, Butterman Goat. You know, I've always tried to pour myself into other people and help them out any way I've ever been able to. I would literally give somebody the shirt off my back if they needed it, and I have before actually. That's actually happened to me. But I always tend to put all of myself into other people, and the other motive behind that is because, you know, like I mentioned earlier, life on this earth is temporary. All these material things, I can't take those with me. I can't even take, you know, this body with me. But the only thing that will last forever is going to be the impact you had on someone's life and the difference that you made. And that's why I always think it's important to make a difference. Sorry, I'm getting teary-eyed again. When I talk about this thing, I'm thinking of a couple people in particular who've really made that difference in my life. But you know, the impact and the difference that you make on people is the only thing in life that is truly immortal. To give you guys an example, when I first decided that transitioning is what I needed to do, and it came time for me to start telling people, the first person I told was my best friend. And it's actually, if you guys see in the chat, Butterman Goat, it's actually his mother. She's my best friend. And I actually made a video dedicated just to her. If you guys haven't seen it, it's actually the least viewed video on my channel. And somebody actually asked me what my favorite video was so far, and that one's it. It's called How You Can Make a Difference in Someone's Life. So if you haven't watched it, go check it out when the stream is over. But, you know, I told her, and because she was kind to me, and because, you know, she didn't treat me like I was a freak or that I was different because I'm trans, and she has kind of helped me with all the things that I've needed help with, I credit the person that I am today and the person that I'm able to be all to her, because she has had such a huge impact in my life. And kind of going off what I was just saying, you know, is that the difference that you make in someone's life can be immortal, and it can live on forever. Because had she not done those things and been nice and accepting to me, I don't know that I would have ever been able to have transitioned. I don't know that I would have been strong enough to do it. And if I had never transitioned, I would have never started making YouTube videos. I would have never met all of you wonderful, lovely people. You know I've helped some of you. I don't know. I'm not being naive and thinking I've like changed everyone's world or their lives, but I have received some messages where I've been able to help people with a few things they were struggling with. And you know, eventually, if this channel gets big enough, it really could change people's lives. And all of that is going to be because one person, my best friend, made a difference. You know, she decided to pour herself out into me, and because of that, more people can be helped and reached. So that's what I mean to you when I say to you guys, you know, that pour yourselves into people, because that's going to live on forever. It's going to go from person to person, affecting lives and more than you ever realized were possible, all because one other person, or because you know, took the time to treat somebody with kindness and to help them. So that's kind of the basis of my mindset and the purpose of the videos that I make. And that's what I'm always thinking about, is how can I make other people's lives better? Just because I want that to be my legacy and my impact on this world. You know, when I'm gone and I'm dead, I want people to show up to my funeral and say that they're better people for having known me. And if they say anything less, I'm going to take it as that I was a total and complete failure. Granted, I won't know because I'll be dead, but you know, hey. So anyway, sorry to get kind of morbid on you guys, but I have to use that to explain the mindset that I have and the way I approach everything in life, and you know, on YouTube and in my real life and everything. That's the way I approach it, is because I want to make a difference in people's lives. Okay, so do any of you guys? I think this is only in the U.S., but do any of y'all ever go to Sonic? or even know what Sonic is. Maybe it's just like a Southern U.S. thing. I don't know. But if you don't know, it's like a drive-through restaurant chain where they have like all these like individual stalls, and you go and you pull up and you place your order, and the little waitress car hop person comes out and they bring it to you, and you can sit there and eat it or you can leave. They've got like 100 stalls, so it's fine. But so anyways, I go to this place all the time because they have the best drinks, and their food's pretty good too. And because I'm lazy and don't like to cook. But anyway, I go here all the time, and I started going there maybe like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. I went there and I had just shot my my makeup tutorial video, the transgender makeup transformation. And I went there, and I had my nails done. I was looking good. And when I ordered my food, and the car hop comes out, and she pauses when she gets up to my car. She hands me my food. Normally, when you go there, they like throw the food in your window as fast as they can, and they like take off back in the other direction. But this girl, she comes up to me, she hands me my food, and she's staring at my hands. And I started to kind of get like self-conscious about myself, just 'cause that's what I do. I'm a very I get self-conscious a lot. I'm very awkward type person. And then she looks at my face and she goes, "I really love your makeup." She goes, "Do you watch YouTube like makeup tutorials by any chance?" And I was like, "Well, I don't watch them per se." I was like, "I've made a couple." And I was like, she's like, "You're on YouTube?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I've made a few videos. And I wrote down the channel name for her, the real Madison Kate, on the back of my receipt, and I gave it to her. And she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna watch, I promise." And I'd forgotten all about it. And I go back a couple weeks later. Morgan Smith, they have like just like real American type food, like hot dogs, hamburgers, like chicken strip baskets, things like that. So anyway, I go back a couple weeks later, and a different girl comes out to bring me my food. And she does, and like I said, normally my experience for like the last 20 years of this place is they like throw the food in the window and they take off. This other girl comes up and she hands me my food, and she just starts chatting. She stands at my window for like 3 or 4 minutes just trying to strike up a conversation. And I thought to myself, okay, that's kind of strange, And I went back again for a third time a few days after that. Go there a lot. And a guy comes out to bring me my food, and he stands at the window and he's just like chatting up a storm. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is really strange behavior for these car hops at Sonic. Well, come to find out, I finally got it out of one of the car hops, is that the girl that I shared my YouTube channel with, I guess she shared it with everybody else who worked there, which is like 20 people or something. And now whenever I go, they think I'm like a celebrity or something because I make YouTube videos, which is really dumb. And they're very, very sweet people. I love them, but they always want to stand there and have conversations with me now, and it's great. Just for the fact that they can take a few minutes out of their day and not focus on having to work so much. But it's just kind of weird that I was able to see their personalities and the way they do things kind of just flip a switch like that. It was just kind of funny. So if anyone from Sonic in the town I live in is watching, shout out to you guys. You are awesome. But yeah, so I'm going full time, and I bought a what do I like to get? So I usually get for drinks. This is a cherry lemonade right now that I'm drinking. They have the best lemonades, and I really like their hot dogs there. I like the Chicago dogs just because they're different and they have those little hot peppers on them. Or I'll get like chili cheese, like the foot-long chili cheese hot dogs, and I'll ask for like onions and extra jalapenos. I love anything spicy. The spicier my food, the better. So I always have them like dump on loads of spice. Okay, funny spicy story for you guys. There was a so the office building I work at is kind of like right in front of like a little shopping center, and this like bar and grill type place opened behind it, and they went out of business pretty quick. They're not there now. They're open for maybe like a year, but they delivered menus to the office trying to drum up some business, and I like spicy food, and everybody in my office knows that I just like worship spicy food. It's the best. And I was looking on this menu, and they had a hamburger on there. It was called the Flaming Ass Burger. And, you know, it sounded hot, so, you know, why not? It sounded like a good idea to me. So a few weeks later, me and my friends, Butterman Goat, your mother was there, a couple other friends from the office, we go over to this place. It was called like Legends or something. And we go in there, and all my friends, they place their orders, they get what they want. And the lady comes to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll try one of these Flaming Ass Burgers. Why not? And she looks at me kind of strange. And I pointed at the menu. I was like, yeah, the Flaming Ass Burger. I'll have one of those. She shakes her head. She's like, okay. And I don't know if I was like the first one they'd ever served or not. Like they were amazed that somebody ordered it. But I did. And it should have clued me in a little bit that I was in for something horrid, because they came and they brought me this hamburger on a plate. You know, they served it to me. And I look up, and I can see like the door to the kitchen kind of like across ways from me. I look up, and there's like 3 cooks, and they're like, you know, they're like poking their head out like from the kitchen door to watch me when I take a bite of this thing. And I saw that, and that's when I realized that I was in for some trouble. I ate about half that thing. I walked out of that restaurant in tears. That was the hottest whatever I've ever put in my mouth. I don't know what was in it. It had to be like a ghost pepper or something, but it was unbelievably hot. And I did this on a Friday. It ruined my weekend. If you guys want to know the personal details, it was, you know, like the situation, like don't get further than 30 feet from a toilet kind of situation. It was bad. So don't ever eat anything called a Flaming Ass Burger if you go to a place called Legends. It's just, trust me, it's not worth it. But yeah, I love spicy food. And I don't remember what I was talking about before I got caught off on that tangent. You used to get the foot-long chili cheese without the wiener. So did you just get like a hamburger with like chili and cheese, or like a hot dog bun with chili and cheese in it? I don't understand. That's like not even a hot dog. That's just a piece of bread with chili on it. Well, to each their own, I suppose. I'm the last person who should be judging anyone. Let's see, what else do you guys say? But yeah, so I'm always getting spicy food, and especially like when I travel, I love to travel, and everywhere I go, I'm always like trying the spicy food that they have. I've been to most of the islands in the Caribbean, and I'm actually going on a vacation in another month or so. I'm going on a cruise, and I'm going to be going to a couple different places. But every time I go, I always like ask for like the spiciest thing at these restaurants. I love eating at local places when I go to different countries. At one point in time, my lifetime goal was to visit every country on Earth and to set foot in every country, because it used to be impossible, but now it's actually possible now that Americans can go to Cuba, because you can get into places like North Korea if you really want to. It's not recommended, but you can certainly go. But so that was kind of my life goal, was to visit every country on Earth. And somebody pointed out to me just the other day that I can no longer have that as a life goal, because a lot of countries, specifically Middle Eastern countries, if you are transgender, you are not allowed in those countries. And seeing as how those are places that I have never been, I'll never get to go. So I just realized that life goal is now not possible, which kind of makes me sad a little bit, you know. But being able to transition and have to give that up at the same time, it's a good trade-off. I'm totally fine with it. It doesn't it doesn't like depress me or anything. It's just one of those things that I realized I'd kind of planned for a really long time, and now I can't anymore. Oh, Crimson Sky, you're Christy Renee from Twitter. Good deal. I didn't realize that. Thanks for pointing that out. But so I don't know how many countries I can get to now that I'm trans, but you know, we'll see. I still like to travel. It's not going to stop me from traveling. I actually saw, I don't know if, do any of you guys watch videos from GT Gorgeous? I actually find her videos kind of like slightly annoying, but but they're still really entertaining. And she made a video, I don't know, maybe like a couple years ago, where she was trying to vacation in Dubai, and she got turned away at immigration because she was trans. So yeah, I know there's places that'll never happen with, so I'm fine. At the same time, it does make me blessed because, um, when I look at the state of our country and how trans people are treated and affected, and I see that it's not great, I am extremely fortunate to have been born in the place that I was born in, because a lot of countries you can be killed for being trans. At the end of the day, I'm still fortunate and I'm not upset at all about it. I'm upset that I wasn't just born a girl, though. Why couldn't that have just happened? That would have made life so much easier. Apple Basket, it was before she had her facial feminization surgery, and I think she was presenting as female, but her IDs and passports all still said male. I think that's how they knew. But I mean, if I had been born female, I could have avoided a lot of really awkward and tough things, like having to tell my mother that I was transgender. That was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I just recently told my sister. Um, Telling my family is extremely difficult, and I am not good at it. I put it off and put it off and try and just maybe hope it goes away. I don't know what I think, but it is extremely hard. And I could have avoided all that stuff had I just been born female. But I'm not. Maybe my purpose in life is to not be born female, and then try and help other people just like me. I would like to make a difference. Crimson Sky, I had a question. I saw this on Twitter. Why are you having to wait so long to start HRT? Did you have some kind of like other health issue, or did you just find a bad doctor who wouldn't prescribe them very soon? Hey, Morgan, I may take you up on that. Germany's a place I've always wanted to go. I would actually love to travel all over Europe. I've never been to Europe, so that's something that I would love to do. Maybe we could do a vlog together. From where are you in? What part of Germany are you from? Hamburg. Sorry, it's really tough for me to read the chat. I've only got this side with the contact in. This side doesn't have one right now. I got something in it. Had to pull it out right before the live stream. So everything's kind of blurry. Yeah, we could do a vlog together. That'd be awesome. Um, okay, so Lonnie, perfect question about my insurance. Let me tell you guys how crappy my insurance is. I have Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas, and when I go to the doctor, I make my copay, just like everyone else does, and I go see the doctor. And then I go have my blood drawn, for, hormone reasons. And I make a copay when I go and have my blood drawn, just like everybody else does. And then about a month later, I usually get a bill in the mail for the rest of my doctor visit, like the other $80 or $90 for my doctor visit, as well as a bill for the rest of the blood work, which is normally like $400 or $500. My insurance rejects anything with the diagnosis of gender dysphoria on it. And so as soon as they see those, it doesn't matter what I'm there for, they reject it, and I'm on my own. I'm pretty certain that I could walk out of my house right now and get hit by a bus, and what happens to me is nothing at all related to gender dysphoria, but my diagnosis is on my medical files, and because of that, they're going to say no. My insurance sucks. The only thing that they are paying for, however, is my psychology. Is for my psychologist. They pay for those sessions because she uses a different diagnosis when she bills them. She uses, I think it's anxiety or something like that when she bills it, and so they do pay for that. Let's see. Earthling, you started HRT on Friday. Congrats. Are you doing pills, injections, patches? What form are you doing it in? Yeah, sorry. The time zones are really a pain in the butt. Morgan, wow, that is something. It's almost 3 a.m. there. That's impressive. I appreciate you being on. That really means a lot to me that you're willing to to do that, because tomorrow's Monday for you, right? You got to be at work in a few hours. That is crazy. Thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so my insurance has always been a problem. An open enrollment at the end of the year, I'm going to look at trying to switch and find something that will help me. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm not. If I can find something that will help me, that will help pay for some of these surgeries, that'll be the main thing, because they're going to be what's most expensive. I can take having to pay the doctor visits and blood works and stuff like that. It sucks, but it's not going to break me. But not the way that a $25,000 surgery will really hurt. For my GRS though, I do intend to use Dr. Marcy Bowers. If you don't know who she is the foremost leading expert in the US, I believe, on SRS or GRS. The only issue with that is I'm probably going to have to book my appointment sometime next year, because she tends to fill up really quickly and you have to book like 2 or 3 years in advance. So I'll probably go have my consultation and book sometime next year so that I can have my surgery in 2020. It's just a thing. I wish there were some more really good surgeons for that. What kind of work do I do? I work in the healthcare industry, ironically enough. I manage a network of medical providers. The network I manage has like, I don't know, it's like 40 or 50 medical providers in it that I'm responsible for. It's a pretty cool job. I enjoy it a lot. Every day's different, so that's nice. Let's see here. You're studying. What are you studying, Morgan? Are you? I'm guessing you're a student then. What's your major? What are you going to school for? Ironically enough, what I went to school for, I don't use at all. I have a totally useless degree for my career path. I have a degree in mathematics. What were you off about, Butterman Goat? I don't understand. Did I miss it? Said you were off about that. What was it? Yes, I have seen Steph Sanjati's videos. I'm actually a big fan of hers. I would love to do something with her, but I'm pretty sure she does not know that I exist, which is cool. Oh, my job. Okay. Yeah, nobody really knows what I do, Butterman Goat. I just kind of do stuff and look important. But yeah, so I have seen that where she's planning on going to Thailand for SRS. I, however, do not want to go to Thailand. I would like to do something in the US. I just have reservations about going to Thailand for something like that. Close. Me and your mom work very closely with one another. Our jobs kind of overlap a little bit, so you're close, Butterman. But so anyways, I really don't want to go to Thailand for that. I'd like to do it here in the US. And I really like the way that Marcy Bowers does her SRS surgeries. And not only that, but the fact that she is trans herself and she has been through that, I think speaks a lot. Oh my gosh. Speaks a lot about the process and what you can expect from her. In Philly, the Mazzoni Center. I'm not familiar with that place. But hey, if you're in Philly, check it out. It says Crimson Sky. Mechanical engineering, Morgan Smith. That is impressive. That's a tough degree to get. I started as a chemistry major, and after about about a year and a half, somewhere in there, I hit physical chemistry, and I said, nope, I'm out. And I switched it to math because that was the next best option for me. I had more credits in that, so I switched to math. Like I said, I just don't use it. It's cool because so I graduated from Texas Tech University. And the time I graduated, there was like, I don't know, 33,000 people enrolled in that school. And there were exactly like 40 of us in the math department with getting actual math degrees. So the lie I kind of told myself was that it would be something that not anyone else had, and it might be useful and in high demand one day. I was wrong. I don't do anything with it. And it's at least a little bit more useful with what I'm doing now than it was before. Before I worked in the healthcare industry, I've been doing that for about 2.5 years now. But before that, I worked in the entertainment industry. Not like you're thinking. I wasn't a stripper, didn't do porn or anything like that. Should rephrase that a little bit better. I managed a movie theater. I was the general manager there, and I did that for a very long time, about 8 or 9 years. That's what I did before the healthcare industry. Okay, Apple Basket, I can do that. I can put links to the surgeons I'm going to in the next videos. And like I said, especially if I move into like these vlog style videos, then that's something that I'll be able to take you guys along for. Like when I go on my trips to San Francisco for like my consultations and my surgeries, that I'll be able to take you guys along for. You'll kind of get to see like that whole process a little bit better. By Morgan, he's like an all-star over here, getting that's a really difficult degree, guys. In case you're not aware, that he's trying to get. So congrats. I hope you do well. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing the vlog style videos, just to kind of be able to bring you guys along from see what my everyday life is like. Not that every day of my life is super exciting. That's the only thing that worries me a little bit, is that I'm kind of afraid that I won't be able to make every day of my life look super exciting. Because eventually, if the channel gets big enough, so tell your friends, I would like to move to making daily videos. It's just I don't have the ability to do that right now for a few reasons, but eventually that's kind of where I would like the channel to get to, is having daily content for y'all. I also have a few other cool projects in the works. I'm actually working on building out a website right now, where I can like make videos like 3 days a week, and I could like write like blog posts a couple other days of the week, just to kind of give you guys some more insight into my life and what I'm going through. Excuse me. That's the problem with these live streams, is I can't cut out all the embarrassing parts. Right? It's those jalapenos coming back up from the hot dog I ate earlier. But that way I can kind of just be a little bit more integrated with you guys, just because I love being able to have this back and forth feedback that we do right now. I don't know. I think it's a really neat platform, and a really cool way to be able to do that, is to be able to have like a back and forth feedback, to where you guys aren't just watching somebody on TV. You're watching Madison, and anytime you want to, you can type in a comment, or put something on Twitter, and you can contact me and I'll respond. A lot of YouTubers I found, like when you want to like you leave comments and stuff, they never respond back to you. You're just like somebody who doesn't exist. You're just like another view number on their view count, or they're trying just to get ad money or something silly. But I really don't want my channel to be about that. I read and respond to every single comment you guys write. All your Twitter responses, I read those as well. I don't care how big the channel gets. I don't care if we end up with like 1 million people and I spend like 20 of my 24 hours answering comments. I'm always going to do that for you guys, just because it's the most valuable part of being able to have a channel and to be a part of this platform, really. That means you're human. Butterman, go. You don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not human. I'm like a superhuman, like Wonder Woman. But yeah, so I don't know. We're probably going to go ahead and end this here in the next few minutes. So if you guys have any last questions or anything you're curious about, go ahead and hit them in the chat, and I'll get them answered. But we're probably going to end about, so I guess it'll be about 8:15 my time, Central Time. So whatever that works into, wherever you guys are at. I think most of you are in the U.S., but I could be wrong. Morgan's obviously in Germany, which is cool. Have you ever been to the U.S., Morgan? I don't know. I'm like stopping for silence, like waiting for him to respond or something, like he's sitting in the room next to me. A little bit of adjusting too on these live chats. Let's see here. Well, anybody have any questions? Oh, in 2015. That's cool. Yeah, I think traveling is very fulfilling. It's a kind of way to broaden your horizons and expand who you are as a person, really as a whole, because you can see how other people live, and it's just eye-opening. How soon after HRT did you notice breast development? Right about 5 weeks or so. I started hormones October 25th, and the week after Thanksgiving, I noticed my breasts were hurting a little bit. And ever since then, they've just kind of ballooned outwards after that. They still hurt, by the way. They're still super sore, just like I said on my boob update video. It's just, I think they're going to be that way for a while, because they are still growing. which I'm happy about. The bigger they get on their own, then the less surgery I'll need. I don't know if you saw this earlier. I have some questions. When did you start wearing a bra? And are you wearing one at work now before going full time? So I started wearing a bra when my breast started growing, about that 5-6 week mark. And I own mostly a lot of sports bras because I wasn't out fully at work and I was trying to hide it. So I used a sports bra to kind of like push things down under like a dress, like a button up dress shirt. And that worked really well. So yeah, I've been wearing a bra since like November. Let's see. All right, you guys. Well, I think that answers pretty much. Oh no, there's a couple more. After you completely transition, will you begin dating? Yes, I'd like to begin dating now, but I think it's going to take a special person who is willing to come along on this crazy ride for me. Um, I just think it's going to be difficult, but yeah, I'm not opposed to it right now. It's just I think for a lot of people, it's very difficult to know or to date somebody in the before and the after transition part. Um, just because it's very difficult maybe for them to know who you were in like a past life or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling. You can see my pink bra. Yes, it is a Victoria's Secret one. This is actually the one I wore, I think, in my boo update video. I'm not sure. Can't remember. Okay, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and end the live chat there. Thank you all so much for joining me. It's a way bigger response than I ever imagined we'd have. And thank you all for being loyal viewers and subscribers. You guys have no idea how much it means to me. If anybody watching hasn't subscribed already and you want to do so, go ahead and head over. And feel free to check out some of those videos I mentioned, like the one where, how you can make a difference in someone's life. That's my absolute favorite video. So feel free to watch it if you didn't get a chance to, like a month ago when I put it out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. And, until next time, be kind and make good choices. So see you guys.